This bonus X is brought to you by Bonus X from Bash Pinball.
Bonus X.
Bonus X. Bonus X. Bonus X. Bonus X. Bonus X.
Bonus X.
Bonus X.
Bonus X. Bonus X.
Bonus X.
Talking about Bonus X.
Bonus X. Bonus X.
Talking about Bonus X.
Bonus. You like bonus?
Listen to that Bonus X. Just
Hey, we got a
bunch of bonus
bonus X.
brought to you by
Bonus X. You could want
Bonus X.
It's time for
Bonus X is happening in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 10. We've hit double digits. This is our second glorious Bonus X episode, and it's guaranteed to be a banger.
Not a guarantee.
Dearest listener, Don and I record a whole bunch of stuff, and sometimes we can't fit all that good stuff into the regular episode format. So with the Bonus X episodes, we allow ourselves a little more freedom to basically goof off and do whatever we want. This one starts off with a few updated game impressions and a bit more Pinfest talk. After that, it pretty much goes off the rails. Enjoy!
Okay, so Ripley's, believe it or not, I almost bought one.
Yeah, so this
I think we talked about
this was
this.
on your short list of games to buy, but both of us had, I think, only ever played the VPX one, right?
Yeah. Well, I played it before.
Yeah.
But it was like a one-time thing in
Long
one
time
place. I don't remember where, and I think I was much younger. So
Yeah. So this was the first time I had played real Ripley's, and I don't know. It's fine, but it seems like it's when maybe this is when Stern started cutting costs a little bit.
started to kind of go down a little bit.
I know a lot of people like the game, and maybe the code is really deep and there's a lot to do, and maybe the sound package is great, and there's probably a lot of elements that I didn't get to experience in that situation, but there's not that much interesting stuff to do in the game. You know, there's a couple ramps, there's a head that you can shoot, but it just has a magnet under it. It just all seems kind of, I don't know.
I felt that way playing it in the VPX. I did.
Not unlike, like, it shoots good, and for a Pat Lawler game, it's pretty fast, and that's fun. It's fun to shoot, but there's just nothing really that interesting or special about the playfield, in my opinion. It just didn't really do anything for me. I think it's a fun game, but it came across very average.
Yeah, I would have to agree
Yeah.
from my experience, but that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah. And when I say average, I mean like relative to other good Pat Lawler games or good Stern, from that era. If I could get this game for $4,000 and I could get Fire for $2,500, I would say get Ripley's. Come up with the extra $1,500 and get yourself a Ripley's, because it's way, way, way better than Fire or those, some of those other games from that era.
Is it better than a Data East?
Yes. Yeah. I'm mid on it, but only relatively speaking. I would take this game
To
over
other Sterns,
any Sega or Data East game that I can think of.
including Simpsons?
Including Simpsons. Yeah. Yeah, Data East Simpsons 10-second review. It's sort of like Turtles. It's just, it's kind of phoned in. Simpsons is cool. It's like, in the same way that I'd like, it'd be cool to just look at. It's just not that great of a
Yeah.
shooter.
It'd be cool to have in your house, though.
Yeah. No, so Last Action Hero, I did get to play, which you have played this a lot more than me.
Yeah.
But it seemed like an above average
Last Action Hero.
Data East game from that era. Like, it has a cool mech, but at the same time, like, all those games have the same kind of rotating thing. Jurassic Park, Last Action Hero, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's like they all just had the same basic elements that were very just slightly moved around. And so in that way, they don't interest me that much. They're just all a little samey.
Sure. I can see that.
Okay, so they had a Popeye there that was down most of the time, but I did get to play it for like the 5 minutes that it was working. And we mentioned on a previous episode where we played Popeye at Super Abari in Charlotte how that shot on the right that goes is impossible. It goes to the upper playfield. On the one that I played at Pinfest, not impossible.
Really?
It's like it was different. The layout of like the playfield was slightly different, and that shot was more open. I don't know which one is the right one. I haven't like studied photographs of it or anything, but the one at Pinfest way more open and easier to hit that shot.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know if that was like made to be easier or if the one at Super Bari was made to be harder. But yeah, that was a different shot. Like the posts were in different places or something. So it was much easier to hit.
Wow.
Still not like super easy, but it was more of just a typical end of the flipper shot.
Did you still think it was fun?
Yeah, I still had fun with it, but it also like barely worked. So sadly, but yeah, it's a
Bummer.
I'd love to play that game some more.
Bummer.
Popeye 10-second review is let's play some more Popeye.
Let's play some more Popeye. That's a good one. That's like a 5-second review.
Yeah, 5-second review.
Maybe even 3.
Oh, and then a slight update on Pulp Fiction because we also talked about that on the Super Bari one. I played one that was set up well, and I had a lot of fun with it. I had a good game. It played better. It felt better. I was hitting stuff, and it was fun. And so I still couldn't hear it, but it did feel a little better than the one we played at Super Bari. I don't know if it was just that one was just too steep or something.
Yeah.
But that game was like 10-second review.
Pulp Fiction, 10-second review.
I still think Lethal Weapon is just as good of a game, but it was. I had fun playing it. So there's a company called Cardona Pinball or something that makes these 2.0 kits, and they have a kit for Gophers and Black Rose. But it's like new code, a new display, new back glass.
Oh, new code for the game.
Yeah, it's brand new code. It's like a It's a full new. Yeah,
it doesn't like tap into existing
new sound,
game
new
already.
audio, new everything. It's just reuses the existing playfield. And they had like a vendor booth, right? And so they had their 2.0 kits for both of those games. Unfortunately, like the games that they had them on were in real rough shape. They're super dirty. They didn't work that well, and they were broken for part of the time. It was just a very poor showing for this upgrade kit. And like I own a No Good Gophers. I'm interested, like I'm the target audience for this 2.0 kit. It didn't. I couldn't even tell if it would have been fun because the game played so poorly and was so dirty. If they want to show off their product, that was not the way to do it. I couldn't even tell if the product was worthwhile or not because the games played so bad.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was big disappointment there because I wanted to try those. Like that's a cool idea, but they're showing at Pinfest, big fail.
How much was the kit?
I think they're about $2,000 or something.
Wow.
The following is from a national instructional television series. The series and related materials were developed and supported by 32 educational agencies, with additional support from Exxon Corporation.
It's time for Education Hour with Matt and Don. In this edition, we'll be learning about Generation Alpha, or Gen A, slang terms. First up is the popular new word, Rizzler. A Rizzler is defined as an extremely confident and charismatic person. See also, Riz.
Sticking out my yacht for the Rizzler.
That's a song.
You're so Phantom Tax. Yeah, that's like a weird horrible song.
That's a real song?
Going around on YouTube.
That's a real song?
Yeah. Sticking out your yacht for the Rizzler. It's just like all of the current slang like crammed into like 4 verses that are musical and arrhythmic.
What in the hell is happening?
You gotta have Riz, Donald.
The Rizzler?
The person with Riz, like the Riddler. I mean, I actually think that one's kind of funny.
The Rizzler.
Like the Riddler, the Rizzler.
Can there be one, or how does that work? Are there multiple Rizzlers? Is it one?
I think it's just
per conversation, per state?
Depending on the context, you know. In a given group of people, you could have maybe multiple Rizzlers. I'm actually not sure. If you had a lot of charismatic people, in a room, can you designate multiple Rizzlers?
Who's the Rizzler?
I'm not sure because it does like just the nature of it. The Rizzler,
singular,
is singular, but clearly there's more than one Rizzler. When I've heard it used, it's in the context of like whoever you're talking about. You know, that's math that I don't understand. Yeah. What's the other line? Oh yeah. You've heard of skibbity, right?
No. You're so skibbity.
Yeah, skibbity toilet. You never heard that? That's
no,
one of those
dude.
too. Yeah.
No idea.
Skibbity, I think, literally doesn't mean anything. It's just nonsense.
No clue.
Yeah, so Skibbity, Yacht, Rizzler, a couple other ones.
Giat is an exclamation used to express excitement or shock, especially in reaction to seeing large buttocks. See also, damn, that's a chunky butt.
Sticking out your yacht for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. You're so phantom tax. I just wanna be your Sigma. Freaking come here. Give me your Ohio.
What is that?
It's all the rage, Donald.
How
Can't
many
you tell?
times? How many times has that played in your head today?
I don't know. It's not even catchy.
Dude, I hate it so much.
You're so phantom tax. Phantom tax is
Phantom tax.
by the way, not phantom, but phantom. So like one Twitch streamer and another Twitch streamer were like in the same house, and one of them would named Phantom something, and the other one would come steal his snacks in the middle of the stream, and that became known as the Phantom tax.
Oh.
And so somehow Phantom tax became like a thing that children are saying now, and saying you're so Phantom tax, which makes absolutely no sense at all.
You're so Phantom tax.
What does that even mean? What could it mean?
How many children are saying this?
I don't know. I saw.
Do
like
both of your children know about this?
Yes.
My reality
Yeah.
is not as complicated.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. Like what? I mean, that's just like a thing that I would do for fun with my bandmates. Like we would
Yeah.
just steal each other's snacks. We're like, this is just what you do as a human.
You're so Phantom tax. Did you know that also the one of the other lines is "Give me your Ohio," but for childs, Ohio is the crazy state for some reason. Like if you could pick which state you think is like
Florida.
the crazy, yeah, Florida.
Florida.
Everybody knows it's Florida, but for 8-year-olds, it's Ohio, and so they
What?
yeah. And you know what the crazy thing is? I saw SNL, like their weekend update sketch recently, and they made some Ohio joke about how crazy people are in Ohio. I'm like, we're just all going to get on board with this now? This Ohio thing now? Ohio's the new Florida for some reason?
What happened?
I don't know. It's so strange. It's so weird. It's so weird. But it makes you wonder, like, how much of this stuff is going to stick?
That's what I'm wondering, right? Is this
Yeah.
going to be like a month and then is this gone forever, or
I don't know.
6 months?
I feel like Rizzler is not going anywhere.
Rizzler is going to stay.
Like, I feel like that one's pretty strong.
I'm actually considering adopting that one. You know,
I don't mind that one.
am I going to be embarrassed if I say it in the wrong context and there's the right audience and they hear me say it wrong and they're like, look at that old ass guy.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, if you ask an 8-year-old what any of these things mean, they will give you all different answers.
Oh.
So no one really knows what any of this stuff means anyway.
The Rizzler.
It's all nonsense.
The Rizzler.
It's kind of funny, but like 50 years from now, are people going to be talking about you're so Phantom tax?
No, hell no.
I don't think so.
Hell no. Not even a year from now.
But something is going to stick, and maybe it's Rizzler. I don't know.
You know who the Rizzler is in my head?
Who?
The guy from Circus Voltaire.
Oh,
That's the Rizzler.
So, okay, we're talking about pinball now. The guy on the right side of Circus
Yeah,
Voltaire,
yeah.
who pops up out of the playfield. What's he actually called?
The Rizzler.
In my head now, that's what he's called. But
The Rizzler.
Isn't he called something?
I am the ringmaster.
I believe I remember seeing that he had a name when I was reading about that game. I do not recall.
I am the ringmaster.
I remember he has a Raz mode.
That's probably why I'm thinking Riz.
Maybe.
Lur.
That's the only thing I can think of specifically related. Yeah, no, I think that guy does have a name though, because
No more! Not again!
like I can hear the voice. What is it? The head.
Do we need to Google it or no?
The head pops up. No, I don't want to know.
You wish to challenge me?
I don't either. The Rizzler.
Yeah, he's the Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
From henceforth, that's the Rizzler.
You make me weep. Not really.
The
And
Rizzler.
that guy is really cool and charismatic. He's the standard bearer for all Rizzlers.
We should make a shirt, the Rizzler, and put his face on it. No one would know what the fuck that is.
That'd be funny.
I bet you kids would buy it. They wouldn't even know what the dude is or where he's from.
Dude,
Just because it says the Rizzler on it.
it's funny. They would wear it. Okay, that's going to be a t-shirt. Bashpinball.com. Check it out.
The Rizzler.
I'll be back.
So this next bit might require a tiny bit of setup. It's about Don's all-time favorite movie, and I'm pretty sure his number one pinball dream theme. And it's also about how Don kind of low-key grew up in the 70s and 80s despite actually growing up in the 90s. So we'll start off with a bit of the movie trailer.
It's raining like magic.
Deep in the heart of the forest, there is a magical world where wondrous creatures play the day away.
Red light. Red light again.
And where an unusual girl named Krista dreamt of faraway places.
I think when you grew up, like the TV and the shows and stuff you watched was just different.
It was different, yeah.
And like had a different, I don't know, it's interesting.
We used to watch, when I was a kid, right? Like what we could get on the TV, you know, so yeah, we had cable, but the channels were also different. And,
yeah,
you know, I didn't really know English. You know, you'd watch the major films, but they were dubbed in Spanish.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know if it presumably takes 10 years to translate and dub, but
So you get
basically
the
like
old
88,
stuff.
you know, like 87 and like during like 1998, you know.
So you were behind on stuff.
You know how they have TV movies on like basic cable?
So did you kind of grow up in the 80s?
I kind of did in a way.
In a way?
I kind of did in a way. And also the 70s for cartoons. So I think I grew up in the 80s.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, you kind of were like a little behind.
There are a lot of movies that I missed because I wasn't seeing them as they were coming out. And then by the time I was a teenager here,
I
just moved to whatever was relevant there. So there's like a little bit of a gap
you
in the 90s.
had a gap, yeah.
But the really, really famous things like Michael Jackson, famous films, Fern Gully. All these things that made it to other countries.
Yeah.
You know, I experienced those things. That was actually my favorite movie for a long time.
Fern Gully?
Fern Gully, man.
That's animated, right? Or was
yeah,
that?
yeah. And what's funny is it was a huge movie in Panama.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I came here, no one had ever seen it.
Yeah, I remember it, but I don't remember it being like popular.
I thought my whole life I thought it was.
That's funny.
But it kind of wasn't. It was just in Panama.
It's like a ferry or something, right?
Yeah, it's like a deforestation hardcore PSA, you know.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was beautiful. It was like a beautiful story of, you know, these fairy creature things with this like goofy like fruit bat that was running around. And then
I don't even know if I ever saw it.
It's beautiful. Like it had a good message and it was beautiful.
I mean, I think it was definitely marketed towards girls in the U.S.
Well, in Panama, it was marketed towards everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember you had the choice. You could watch the overdub or the English with subtitles. So when you went to go watch the movies, you had to pick which theater you wanted to go to. And my mom, trying to get me to learn English, we always went to the English movies.
Oh,
so
that's funny.
she, you know.
That's probably better, though, because you didn't get like the horrible dub that they probably did.
Yeah. I mean, eventually... That was later, right? Like, of course, before I knew English, I had to listen in Spanish.
Yeah.
But as I could learn to read and I could do the subtitle thing, so I don't know, it got easier. And then eventually I could just, you know, watch movies and shows and I just knew what they were saying because I basically spoke English. And then
Is that how you learned English? Mainly just watching shows and movies?
In school. Because I went to a school that was bilingual, so I was learning English simultaneously as I was learning basic math and things like that. So it made it a lot easier.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, you know, like I'm very fortunate that my mom, you know, had the foresight to pretty much from childhood just have me exposed to English, you know, and she would read things to me. And like before I was even in school, like I would get letters from my family, like on my dad's side for my birthday and cards and things. And she would read them to me in English and then translate it. Just, you know, she was very deliberate and intentional about me learning English. And I feel like that has a whole lot to do with why you can hear me speaking English to you now. And I can hear you respond to me in English. And it sounds pretty normal, right?
Yeah.
You would never know.
Yeah, no, you don't sound like you have an accent or anything.
Pero,
Not really.
pero español es mi primer idioma. So, dream theme, Fern Gully.
Yeah, no, it's like if I watch like Parasite is maybe like the last
love
like
that movie.
Korean movie or something or subtitled movie that I watched. But I was like, I had to watch it with the subtitles because that's the way to do it because I'm hardcore, right? But you're hardcore about Fern Gully. That's what cracks me up. So lastly, you might have been wondering in the previous 2 Pinfest episodes, what's with all this craw talk? So the following conversation is briefly what led to all of that nonsense.
I think it was like 2 weeks before you mentioned, oh, it's Pinfest this year.
Yeah.
And you kind of brought it up in a way that I got really excited because, you know, you kind of got me this time. I'm the pinball guy, you know, and then you're telling me about Pinfest and I'm like, holy shit, we can go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, I couldn't figure out my plans in time, so I couldn't make it, but I legitimately thought about it and I even found a place to stay next year.
Right. Which was discussed, on the previous episode, 5 or so.
So, and then you ended up going, I guess your family, right? Is that how you plans?
Well, it was oddly, my wife brought it up.
She was the one that brought it to your attention.
Yeah, she actually brought it up. It was kind of
how funny.
Yeah, because like I kind of spaced on it. We both had a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it's in Pennsylvania and that's where her family is. And I don't know how she remembered it because we discussed it last year, but you know. Anyway, she was like, do you want to go to Pinfest this year? I was like, what?
You know,
do you mean both of us?
Not, you know, I'm going to go ahead and say that women have such an amazing concept of time.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have asked her, like, how did she even think of that?
I don't know.
Because I've never been before, and this was just something we discussed last year, but it must have just stuck in her craw.
Yeah, she cares. I mean, she cares.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, she has ulterior motives. but
I mean, that's pretty awesome. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was cool. That's all for now, but stay tuned for an epic new episode from Don. Interviews with the Pinball Elite, new arcade trips, game reviews, and more.